Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam.
Welcome friends. Today's topic of discussion under decision making is make or buy decision. Friends, you know all decisions are futuristic in nature. They involve a forecast of what the management thinks is likely to occur in future. However, one should not forget that the future is highly uncertain, and similarly the business decisions are also surrounded by many uncertainties. Hence, there are chances of the prediction or decision taken may go wide of the mark. There are some routine decisions involving insignificant costs with very little uncertainty, and they require very little time. While on the other side, there are some decisions involving considerable amount of money surrounded by greater uncertainty. They require considerable amount of time and thought. For example, profitable product mix, acceptance or rejection of special or export offer, make or buy decision that we are going to discuss today later on, addition or elimination of a product line, sale or process further, operate or shut down, etc. Friends, decision making is the process of choosing the best course of action among alternative courses of action. The most effective course of action is selected so as to achieve the goals of the business and to solve the business problems. Decision making also involves the comparison of cost of alternative course of action, and hence it involves the concept of the relevant cost. Hence, decision making is a crucial process. Decision making is an integral part of all management functions: planning, organizing, coordination and control. Friends, today's topic is make or buy. So, decision making situation we are going to discuss, and that is make or buy. When this situation arises, so when a component or a product manufactured in-house is also readily available in open market, business unit faces a problem of deciding whether to make component or product in-house or to buy it from the open market with a view to maximize the profit, which is the ultimate goal of any business. In such a situation, how to take decision? To arrive at the decision, it is required to compare the purchase price of the component or product which is readily available with its relevant cost. Relevant cost means what? The cost which is relevant, which is important in decision taking. Here relevant cost is nothing but our variable cost of manufacturing in-house is our relevant cost, and that is compared with the purchase price offered. Friends, this session will give insight about deciding whether to make component or product in-house or to buy it from the open market. The purpose, as you know, with a view to maximize the profit of the business unit. Let us discuss make or buy decision in detail. When the situation arises, when such a situation arises, so when a component or product is manufactured by the business unit is also available in open market, the problem arises before the business unit whether to make component in-house or to buy it from the open market, and the purpose is the maximization of the profit. In such a situation, it should be evaluated on the basis of cost relevant in decision making, means cost which affects our decision making process is our relevant cost, and normally variable cost is relevant in such a situation because it is always avoidable, while fixed cost is irrelevant because fixed cost is unavoidable. Unavoidable means what? It exists, it remains unchanged whether the component or product is made in-house or it is purchased from open market. So, if fixed cost is normally considered to be irrelevant, but if fixed cost is also avoidable like variable cost due to decision making, it will also become relevant cost in certain situation. Now, in such a situation, how to take the decision? The decision should be taken for the purpose of maximization of the profit of the business unit. It is required to compare purchase price of the component which is available from the open market. So, we will compare purchase price with the relevant cost. Relevant cost means variable cost of making in-house. For decision making, we compare purchase price with the relevant cost. Relevant cost means variable cost. So, we are making comparison between two things, purchase price of component which is available from the market, and the relevant cost means variable cost of making that product. So, if purchase price is greater than relevant cost, we will make the product, and if purchase price is less than relevant cost, we will buy it from the open market. Now, let us take an example for better understanding of make or buy situation. We have an example before us. D Limited makes 2000 units of component and has the following cost structure before you. There are two costs given to us, variable cost and fixed cost, and total cost of manufacturing this component is given. Variable cost is 11, fixed cost is rupees 4, and total cost of manufacturing of this component in-house is rupees 15. That is per unit column we are having, and we are also given cost column, and that is total cost of manufacturing 2000 units of components. In case of variable cost, total cost is 22,000. In case of fixed cost, it is 8,000, and the total cost is 30,000 of manufacturing of 2000 units of the components. So, here variable cost is given, fixed cost is given. Variable cost is relevant cost, fixed cost is our irrelevant cost. Now, we should make or buy the component. Suppose there is an offer, here we are given the offer. Our supplier is ready to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit. So, whether we should buy or we should continue to make in-house. Now, let us have a solution of it. Friends, apparently purchase price is 13, that is the price which is offered by the supplier, and at present the total cost per unit is rupees 15. So, obviously, if we compare, then the purchase price is less than the total cost. Means if we purchase from the open market, it is available for rupees 13, and if we manufacture in-house, our cost is rupees 15, which is more than the purchase price. Then the decision is very obvious. We are going to purchase, we are going to buy it from the open market because it is available at lesser value. But friends, it is incorrect. The comparison is incorrect because we cannot compare purchase price with the total cost. We should compare purchase price with the relevant cost so as to take the decision correctly. So, we will compare now purchase price with the relevant cost. Relevant cost means variable cost. Here fixed cost is unavoidable, means it is irrelevant, and therefore, we will ignore fixed cost. So, now we are comparing relevant cost and the purchase price. So, here fixed cost is given, that is 4 rupees, that is irrelevant cost for the decision making, and hence only variable cost of rupees 11 becomes relevant cost for decision making. So, we will compare relevant cost means variable cost with the purchase price. So, let us have a comparison. So, comparison shows that purchase price is rupees 13 and relevant cost is rupees 11. So, here the relevant cost is less than the total cost. Total cost was 15 rupees, but the relevant cost is only rupees 11, and which is less than the purchase price. The price is 13 rupees. So, supplier is ready to supply the component at rupees 13, while in-house the actual cost means relevant cost is only rupees 11. So, we continue making the component in-house. Now, let us assume if fixed cost is also unavoidable to the extent of rupees 1 only. The total fixed cost, you know, it is rupees 4, but here it is unavoidable to the extent of rupees 1 per unit, means it has to be incurred whether the component is made or bought. Then the fixed cost to the extent of rupees 1 becomes irrelevant cost, and the rest rupees 3 becomes avoidable, means relevant cost, just like our variable cost. So, variable cost is 11 for decision making purpose, and the relevant cost comes to rupees 14 because we are adding rupees 3 to our relevant cost, because fixed cost is also relevant cost as we are assuming. So, now total relevant cost is 11 from variable cost component and rupees 3 is from the fixed cost component. So, relevant cost comes to 14. Let us make comparison again. As you know, purchase price is rupees 13, means price which is offered by the supplier is rupees 13, and the relevant cost is now 11 variable cost plus 3 fixed cost, that is 14 rupees, and it is more than the purchase price, means purchase price is less than the relevant cost, and therefore we will also continue to be buying the product because the price offered by the supplier is less, and therefore we will stop making manufacturing of the component and we will start buying the component from the open market. So, this was the solution before us. Now, we take into account the other points which affect our decision when we take decisions to make the product in-house. The first factor which affects its production capacity. If the component or product which is being bought presently from the open market and the decision of its making in-house is to be taken, it is important to think about whether the business unit has idle plant capacity to make the component or not. So, this is the first factor. Suppose if we start making component in-house, so we should have that capacity. Our plant should be capable of making this product or component in-house. This was the first factor. Now, the second factor, technical capability of making, means we are technically sound or capable of making this component in-house or not. Friends, if the component or product which is being bought presently from the open market, so right now we are buying from the market and now we are taking decision of making it in-house, then it is important to think about whether business unit has that technical capability of making the component or product in-house or not. So, these were the two factors which we should take into account while taking decisions to make the product in-house. Now, there are other points also. They should be taken into account when decision to buy the product is to be taken. Now, we are going to purchase it from the open market. So, the first factor which affects our decision is supplier. So, supplier is the person who is supplying, who is going to send, who is going to sell the component to us. So, while taking decision of buying component or product from the open market, it is also equally important to verify certain points pertaining to supplier. First point, whether supplier is reliable or not. So, his reliability of supplier should be checked. Assurance from the supplier regarding required quality of component or product. So, he is supposed to send us the good quality component. Third, assurance from supplier regarding uninterrupted supply or component of the product. He is going to send the component flawlessly. There should not be any interruption. Okay, so these 3 points is the reliability, the quality, and there should not be any interruption in the flow of the component. So, these 3 aspects should be taken into account from the viewpoint of supplier. The second topic or second point or the factor which affects is idle capacity of the production. Suppose if the component which is being made presently and the decision of its buying from the open market is to be taken, it is important to think about alternate use of capacity of production which will become idle. So, at present we are making, now suppose if we change it, then there will be idle capacity of the plant. So, how to utilize this capacity? So, there can be 2 options. First option, diverting this idle capacity of plant for making another component or product, that would be the better option. But contribution due to this diversion should be having effect on purchase price for decision making. So, our purchase price will be reduced by this contribution, because purchase price is nothing but the price which we are paying to the supplier, and by utilizing this idle capacity we are generating income. So, from purchase price the contribution generated should be deducted. This was the first option. Now, B, the second option will be what? Friends, the other way of utilizing this idle resources is leasing these idle resources of production would be the other better option, because it will also generate income. By decision of leasing this idle resources, we will get an income and it will have effect on purchase price for decision making. See, on one hand we are paying purchase price to the supplier, and on the other hand the idle capacity which we are having, that we are getting in the form of lease rent. So, we are getting lease income. Lease rent is nothing but our income. So, on one hand we are paying to the supplier, on the other hand we are getting lease income. So, our purchase price will be reduced by this lease income, and therefore, we are having impact of lease rent on the purchase price. Let us extend the previous example to have a better understanding of the effect of all these points on decision making. We continue with the same example. D Limited makes 2000 units of component and has the same cost structure. There we are having variable cost of rupees 11 per unit, fixed cost is rupees 4 per unit, and total cost is rupees 15 per unit. And the other information is about total cost. Total cost means total variable cost of this component is 22,000, total fixed cost of this component is 8,000, and total cost we are having is 30,000. Should company make the component or buy? Here we are having three situations. First situation which is given to us, if supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit. Here no other utilization of idle capacity. Now in situation B, supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit, and whatever idle capacity we are having, that should be diverted towards making the other product, and this will result into contribution of rupees 3,000. The third situation is given, supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit, and whatever idle capacity we are having, that we are leasing outside, and we are getting income of rupees 2,000 in the form of lease rent. So, these are the situation before us. Let us have a solution. What we do first? We first calculate relevant cost. Relevant cost means variable cost. So, relevant cost or variable cost at present we are having is rupees 11 per unit, and this is for 2000 units, and therefore, our total variable cost is rupees 22,000. So, this was our first calculation. Now, the other part. Second part is purchase price. Now, we are calculating this purchase price for all the three situations which are given to us. The first situation is, if supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit. So, purchase price will be what? 13 per unit he is offering to us. So, 2000 units of components we need. So, 26,000 will be the purchase price for situation A. Now, for situation B, supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit, and now as we are going to purchase, for example, suppose if we purchase it from the market, we will be having that idle capacity of the plant, and that idle capacity we are diverting towards the making the other component, and that results into contribution of rupees 3,000. So, on one hand we are going to pay purchase price of rupees 13 per unit. For 2000 units it will be 26,000. So, this we are going to pay to the supplier because we are going to purchase from him, and on the other hand we are utilizing this idle capacity for manufacturing of other product, and this will generate contribution of rupees 3,000. So, we are getting income. So, on one hand we are paying 26,000 to the supplier, on the other hand while making the other component or other product we are generating income of rupees 3,000. So, contribution is nothing but our income. So, our total purchase price of rupees 26,000 will be reduced by the income generated by the utilization of idle capacity. So, actual purchase price comes to rupees 23,000. This was for the situation B. Now, for situation C, supplier offers to the firm to sell the component for rupees 13 per unit, and now leasing the idle production resources for rupees 2,000 of lease rent. So, on one hand similarly we are getting income, and on the other hand we are paying to the supplier. What we are paying to the supplier? We are paying purchase price of rupees 13 per unit. We need 2000 units of component, so we are paying 26,000, and now as we are going to purchase from the supplier, we will be having idle capacity. This idle resources we are going to give on lease, and we will get income of lease rent of rupees 2000. So, on one hand we are paying 26,000, on the other hand we are getting rupees 2000. So, actual purchase price will be reduced to 24,000 units. So, in this way we have calculated relevant cost. Next we have calculated purchase price. Now we take the decision. In situation A, purchase price is 26,000 and relevant cost is 22,000. See, relevant cost will remain 22,000 for all the situation. Here purchase price is 26,000 and purchase price is more than relevant cost. Okay, so we cannot purchase it from the supplier. We continue with the manufacturing of the component in house. In B situation, purchase price is 23,000, which is again higher than the relevant cost of rupees 22,000. So, we should continue with again the manufacturing of the component in house. We will not purchase it from the open market. And for the situation C, again purchase price is 24,000, which is higher than the relevant cost. So, here in this situation also we continue with the making of the component in house. So, in this way we have taken decision for all the three situations. Let us summarize this session. This session was focusing on one of the various short term decision making situations, that is make or buy decision. Friends, I am sure that this has given insight about deciding whether to make component or product in house or to buy it from the open market. The purpose is with a view to maximizing the profit of the business unit. When a component or product manufactured in house is also readily available in open market, in such a situation how to maximize the profit. This session will help the student how to take decision whether to make or buy the component with the help of concept of relevant cost. As you know, relevant cost is nothing but variable cost in decision making, and by comparing the purchase price of the component or product readily available from the open market with the relevant cost, that is variable cost. And this is the end of this session. We will discuss about various other decision making situations in the next sessions. Thanks and have a great time ahead.